Hey, what's up, folks? It's Jesse with Keeping It Real Finance channel that always says your back and tells it like it is. Well, today's video is going to be a bit of a comprehensive update on BitTorrent. So there's been a lot that's been happening with BitTorrent since the last video I did on it. As of today, they just dropped their USDD stablecoin. So this is another stablecoin that is tacking on to the decentralized stablecoin idea. In this case, it is an algorithmic stablecoin. I'll be explaining what all that means in a few minutes, but we're also going to be talking about some other big updates, partnerships with Kyber network getting on the BitTorrent chain. We're going to be talking about staking on Mainnet, what those current rates look like as of today, because they have changed since my last video, as well as a few other topics. We'll take a look at TradingView as well as CoinMarketCap. All right. So if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit the like button. If this is your first time to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And if you click the bell, you'll be made aware whenever I post time-sensitive content just like this. And now, let's get it going. All right, so I want to kick off today's video by first talking about the BitTorrent file system. So anybody out there who isn't familiar with BitTorrent itself, the platform outside of being BitTorrent, the cryptocurrency, it has been a peer-to-peer sharing platform for probably somewhere around 20 years, give or take. It's for sharing files, video, music, whatever you want to share on there. And so fast forward to today, we have this thing called the BitTorrent file system. So what this is it's basically, as it says here, the first scalable decentralized storage system, the foundation of Web3 architecture. I don't know if that's 100% true that it's the first. I know it's one of many in the cryptocurrency industry that do this. But where it has a huge leg up is it also has the BitTorrent platform, okay? So that is one of the big things here, and some of the stats around this. I mean, look at the total revenues. So total revenue in BTT, the numbers go so high you can't even count it. Total contracts, 71 million. Total miners, over 4.6 million. That is an absolute truckload. And so the reason I bring this up is the way that this works. Justin Sun actually did a video on it with somebody else from BitTorrent, and what it is it's essentially a Windows client that you can download. It's an app. You put it on your computer. And what you're doing is you're becoming a decentralized part of this file network, right? So what that means is you're offering up spare space on your computer. And by doing so, they will then pay you in BTT. Now, as far as I know, I think it's only for Windows, so I couldn't test this because obviously I have a Mac for me. So it is a Windows-based application as far as I'm aware, and that's essentially how it works. So all you're doing is you're allocating your free space to the decentralized network, and then you're being paid in BTT. And so if you look at the total revenue on BTT, it's an absolute mountain of revenue for all of the various people all over the planet that are doing this. So there is a ton. I saw an image off the BitTorrent site where it looked like there's a lot in North America in particular, and moving on from there. So very interesting. All right. So that's the BitTorrent file system. And it says, obviously, welcome to the BitTorrent file system 2.0. So pretty cool on that front. So that's a fairly new development, this 2.0 here. And some of the other things you can see up top, it's got like this ape NFT marketplace. That has nothing to do with the Bored Apes, as far as I can tell. It looks like that's just an NFT marketplace for Tron. Okay, and Tron is the blockchain owned by Justin Sun, and that ties into BitTorrent. BitTorrent was previously a Tron token. So I think it's a TRC20, I want to say, was what BitTorrent is. We'll be taking a look at that in a minute. And then they've also got this NFT bridge. So they're doing a lot with this, right? Now, moving forward, so this is a new development also. The USDD, so the decentralized stablecoin. All right, so it looks like Justin Sun is basically trying to tap into the same idea that Do Kwon, he is the founder of Luna, is tapping into with Terra USD. So by having a decentralized stablecoin, that's kind of what crypto is all about, right? This is one of the core principles of crypto is decentralization. And ironically, most stablecoins are not decentralized. In addition, it's also very ironic, at least I find it to be anyways, that most stablecoins are pegged 1-to-1 to the US dollar, which is currently inflating at least 8% plus. So not exactly stable. So that being said, now in Do Kwon's model of the Terra USD, the way that he's trying to go about the decentralized stablecoin is Terra is investing $10 billion into Bitcoin and having that as a Bitcoin reserve. So now it isn't the entire coin. The stable coin is based on Bitcoin, just part of it. Okay. So they're kind of shifting from a centralized stable coin to a decentralized stable coin. Now, where this is different is this is a algorithmic, decentralized stable coin. So this goes beyond just picking something like Bitcoin. Okay, so I tried reading the white paper on this one, and it's very technical. If you're up on this kind of thing, give it a go. But let me just kind of show it to you. I will hit, what I saw was kind of the easy to read highlights of this. So, as part of this here, it says USDD is a cryptocurrency issued by the Tron DAO. That's the decentralized autonomous organization that governs Tron. Okay. So the Tron DAO reserve, right? So that's where this is coming from. Their reserve with a stable price and diverse use cases. So it will have a built-in incentive mechanism and a responsive monetary policy, which will allow USDD to self-stabilize against any price fluctuations and help consolidate the value of USDD as a true settlement currency. Interesting, right? Now, if we scroll down here, there's a couple other little pieces of this that I just want to touch on. So, like right here, it says first, the USDD stablecoin protocol decides which asset USDD should be pegged to because stability is relative. So, I find that very interesting. So, he's basically saying that it's not just Bitcoin, they could peg it to basically any cryptocurrency that is stable. Okay, so really interesting take here. Could they peg it to other stable coins? I suppose they probably could. Could they peg it to, Terra USD? Yeah, they probably could. Okay. And along those lines, too, on Justin Sun's page, he has a picture of him and Do Kwon hanging out somewhere. So who knows? Maybe that's part of this, right? So there's that, right? And it says pegging to a specific asset will meet the demand of more users. Now it says second, the USDD protocol runs on the Tron network. So that's what we were just talking about with that Tron DAO reserve. This is kind of where it's coming from. Now it says last but not least, the protocol should be equipped with the tools to regulate the market against any price deviation from the predetermined value to maintain the stability of the currency price. So again, this one is really kind of tricky. So what I kind of foresee here, and I could be wrong, but what I foresee here is it's basically like a protocol, essentially, that is adjusting the currency upon pegging it upon different cryptocurrencies as they are holding stability, if that makes sense. So cryptocurrencies fluctuate. Stablecoins don't really fluctuate that much. And maybe it's bouncing between those. I couldn't really get a clear picture of which specific currencies it's being pegged on. Even by reading the rest of the white paper, it's really confusing. Okay. So the bottom line here in all of this is if you break it down at its simplest, it's a decentralized stablecoin because the reserve is brought to you by the Tron DAO, which is a decentralized organization. Okay, so we got that. And then the protocol itself is based upon other cryptocurrencies that are stable at various points in time. And I'm assuming by reading the white paper, it fluctuates between different currencies to then hold that price. Okay, that's kind of how this thing works. Now, what's interesting with USDD, let me see if it was this page here. No, it's not that page. Okay, let me go back to the earlier page. Here we go. So decentralized USD. Now, what's interesting is they say that you can stake it and earn APY of 30% plus. And I saw a video of Justin Sun talking about this, and he said, yeah, it's a great opportunity out there for, a stable investment where you can get a good return. And that's basically what this is. So for anybody who doesn't know APR and APY, APR is annual percentage rate. APY is annual percentage yield. What it means is that APY compounds with each time you get those rewards. It adds them to your pool, and then the next rewards you're going to get are based on all that combined with those previous rewards. If you're looking at APR, that's simply just paying you a rewards rate based off your original holding. All right. So in this one in particular, why this is interesting is that with Do Kwon and Terra USD, if you're staking that on Anchor Protocol, I did a video on this where the rewards rate was about 19.55%. I've seen over the last couple of days, it looked like it dropped to 18%. But that's roughly where it is. And so here they're saying you can get APY of 30%. So that's even higher based on a stable coin. So if this protocol does indeed do what they say it does in the white paper, then potentially a game changer here for a decentralized stable coin, an algorithmic stable coin, right? So if you want to check this out further, all you got to do is go to USDD.io. You can find this exact page here, and you can check these out. Now, it's also got this ellipsis pool. We've got SunSwap. So that is, again, Justin Sun with his Sun token. So SunSwap for USDD with TRX. And then we've got another staking option here that is USDD USDT. So staking options all around on this one. Very, very interesting. And by the way, USDD just dropped today, May 5th. So it just came out today. All right. Okay. Moving forward. So I wanted to show you this. So this is the current staking rewards for BTT. If you wanted to stake it, I've posted videos on this before, and I'm not sure everybody understood this. So let me just go ahead and repeat it now. If you're buying it somewhere where you can't transfer it, then there's not really a point, okay? So you need to be picking this up from an exchange where you can then transfer it to your Tron Link wallet. You're going to need BTT and you're going to need TRX in order to do that, to pay the gas fees. That particular BTT is on the Tron blockchain. Now, I'm going to explain that too, because you might be thinking, hey, well, isn't this about the BitTorrent chain? Well, yes, there is the BitTorrent chain, but the new redenomination, new BTT or BTTC, I think as it is on Binance, is actually on the Tron blockchain. It's a TRX20 token, all right? So if you wanted to stake it, like I said, you would simply just send it to your Tron wallet. You need some TRX to pay the gas fees. And you can stake it here on this bt.io. Now, currently, the rewards rate is an APY of 18.28%. When I originally started doing this, and I've got a couple of videos on it, the rate on it was somewhere around, I want to say 36, 37, 38%. So it was a lot higher at the beginning. It has been going down over time as more people stake. That's the way it works. Now, in this rewards calculator, they've got how much of the circulating supply is in here? Only 4%. That's it. So basically next to nothing is being staked so far. And as more and more is staked, that rate will drop over time, okay? But right now it is 18.28%, and that is APY. So I just wanted to touch on that because that has updated since my last video when it was roughly double that, okay? So if you stake it now, this is still a pretty good rate. You look around at all your centralized exchanges, show me somebody who's paying 18.28% on BTT. So pretty rare to find that, right? Okay, moving forward. So this was a piece of news here. So BitTorrent announced this, that Kyber network has now launched on the BitTorrent chain. So that's interesting. So Kyber and Kyber Swap is on there. And I think I had a photo of Justin's son and the founder. Let me see if this is it right here. Yeah, here they are. So the guy on the left, obviously, is Justin's son with the Tron and BitTorrent shirt. And the guy on the right, I do not remember his name, but he is obviously the founder of Kyber Network. Okay, so that's two of them. Looks like they're hanging out. They're friends, know each other, etc. So that's pretty cool. Now, I did want to go back to this page once more. So outside of this rewards calculator, let me show you something. So if you go up top here to where it says swap, and it says this is hot, right? I want to explain the way that this works, because when I first saw this, I didn't really understand it. Now I think I get it, okay? So your BTT that you're going to be staking here, if you stake it on Mainnet, like I mentioned, is on the Tron blockchain. It is not on the BitTorrent chain, okay? Now, if you want to swap it, you can then swap it to other chains that have been bridged, okay? So if you wanted to swap it to Ethereum, well, guess what? It is BTT underscore E. If you wanted to swap it to, I think Tron's on there too. Let me see here. Yeah, BTT is just the Tron version. Here you go. BTT underscore B is the Binance Smart Chain. So that's pretty interesting. And then here you go. So here's one of them that shows up with Tron, is this Sun token. So it's Sun underscore T. So that last letter signifies whatever blockchain they're moving it to through their bridge. So this is where essentially you have your interoperability, right? So as you can see here, some of these, obviously we've got the USDD stablecoins. So we have the Tron version, Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, this NFT. So this is for their Ape NFT marketplace. We've got Win for Winklink. We've got JST for Just Swap. You know, most of Justin's son's coins are all sort of named after him. We've got Sun, etc. So that's really what those signify, is that interoperability between the chains. Okay. All right, moving forward. So going back to Twitter, here's an announcement that was Binance adds new trading pairs. So they added some trading pairs here that includes BTTC and BUSD. All right. Now, moving forward from there, taking a look at the chart on BitTorrent, this one really hasn't gained its footing yet. And the reason why is, you know, when it dropped, we've been in this sort of bearish sideways pattern now for quite a while. It really hasn't gained any footing, so it's hard to say what you'd have for a price prediction at the moment. To be determined on that front. But what I would say is that Justin's son, by all accounts, you know, when they did the redenomination, he did this to lower the amount of what it costs to buy one of these. And I think he's following the SHIB model. I think that's what he's doing, right? So basically over time, if the community's like, this thing's going to a penny and everybody try as hard as you can to buy it, and let's see if we can make that happen. I think that's the angle that he's going for here when they did the redenomination, right? Now, they haven't really said that publicly. They said, you know, they were having some issues with fees and whatnot, but I kind of get the feeling it's more so that. Just my personal opinion. Now, outside of that, you know, looking at everything that's going on here, a little bit of red outflow, not much though, actually. What we'd like to see is some big time green inflow. I think that overall with BitTorrent, though, for some people, it's maybe a little daunting staking on Mainnet. That's kind of like an advanced step that not everybody who's just getting into crypto can do. Also, there are some exchanges like Voyager, for example, that a lot of people buy BTT on. And then they realized that they can't transfer it anywhere. So you can't do anything with it. Originally, that's exactly what I did. I bought it on Voyager and I couldn't transfer it anywhere. So I eventually had to sell it all, buy it on Coinbase, and then transfer it from there. So that's what I did. Obviously, there's BTT is listed on all kinds of different exchanges. So there's different options with that. But in terms of the market and what's going on as a whole, obviously you can see here that the whole market's red right now. Reason why Bitcoin dipped through the bottom trend line. So that's great, which basically means we're starting over here with our pattern, which is kind of frustrating because obviously we've wanted this thing to turn around for quite a while. But that's why the market is currently red, which basically just comes back down to accumulation phase, right? Now, lastly, I wanted to go over here, let's see here, into the BitTorrent page on Coin Market Cap. So as of right now, the market cap on BitTorrent shows at about 1.5 billion. In terms of the HODLer wallets, that has been going up over time. Currently, it's just south of 15,000 HODLer wallets. So that's a pretty good mark right there. Really, you just need to understand with Justin Sun and all these various tokens, he's involved in a little bit of everything. He tries to open start a coin for every idea possible, and so there's lots of different options here within Tron, within the BitTorrent chain, etc. All right, so with all of that, I know that's a lot of different pieces of information. There's just a lot of info that happens with BitTorrent. It's sort of challenging to keep up with, I got to admit. And they do have a Medium page that you can check out that has weekly updates on kind of what's going on with BitTorrent. The reason for doing this video is I've had a lot of people request an update on BitTorrent, so that's why I wanted to give you today with just sort of what's going on here. But overall, definitely still has some great staking rewards that USDD is interesting. And so I'm going to wrap up this video now in a couple of minutes with some final thoughts, and we'll bring this one home. Here at the Keeping It Real Finance channel, we need your support. All of the content on this channel is entirely organic, meaning we did the video on a topic that we simply like, or we did it because of a request from one of you, our viewers. So that being said, if you enjoyed today's video and would like to support the channel, there are multiple ways you can do that to help us to continue to create and level up our content. Our affiliate links will be available in the video description to cover platforms we endorse and use ourselves. Support the channel today and earn sign-up bonuses along the way. We also have a merch shop available with links below the video or directly by visiting KIRfinance.myspreadshop.com, where we offer tons of great designs and product options. We've got everyone in the family covered. Help support us by picking up merch and sharing your photo on social media. We may even send you an NFT. Speaking of NFTs, at OpenSea.io we have our NFT series, The Liberty or Death Crossroads, available now. Pick one up today and enjoy special upcoming perks and exclusive content with our planned upcoming courses, Patreon, and Discord group. If you're a reader and simply looking to step up your game in personal finance, I also wrote a book in 2015 titled Driving Through Potholes, Financial Strategy and Life Lessons for Those Looking to Rediscover the American Dream. The book is available now at Amazon in Kindle and paperback. And lastly, if you'd simply like one-on-one consulting, feel free to reach out anytime at keepingitreal since1982@gmail.com. We greatly appreciate your support today, and now let's get back to the video. All right, so for some final thoughts today. So first of all, going back to the BTFS, the BitTorrent file system. So this is a great way to make some extra money if you've got a computer that's got some spare space, if it is a Windows computer and you're okay getting paid in BTT, all right? So that app is out there. You can put it on your computer. You could start getting paid today. And obviously there are a ton of people all around the planet that are doing it. Most of them, from the chart that I saw on BitTorrent, were based in North America, but they are in other places around the world as well. So great opportunity there if you want to earn some BTT by simply giving up, space that you're not using, all right? Next, the USDD Stablecoin. So I know that one's a little tricky to follow. But essentially all it is a decentralized stablecoin. And like I mentioned earlier, I find it very ironic that pretty much the vast majority of the stablecoins and cryptocurrency are all pegged to the US dollar, which is inflating at 8%. It's like a runaway freight train. So how exactly is that stable, right? So it's kind of an odd concept. Ultimately, as one of the pillars of cryptocurrency, decentralization, can we get decentralized stablecoins? Well, that's really the goal. That's kind of the next evolution of stablecoins, is to become decentralized. So that's where they're headed with this one. We'll see how it works out long term, okay? Now, they did offer that up to 30% APY with those various staking options. So as I mentioned, this is well higher than Terra USD. So that's pretty interesting. Some other things, now that I think about it, I don't think I covered, there was a CoinMarketCap article that was cited from another source. I think it was UK Daily News, I want to say, where they talked about BitTorrent and how it is competitive moving into the future. And one of the things that they actually cited was the TPS, the transactions per second, which is 7,000. Okay, now I read that and I thought 7,000. That seems low to me, but that's actually high. That's higher than Ethereum. It's higher than Polkadot. It's higher than Cardano. It's higher than Avalanche, etc. There was a whole list of them in the article that it's higher than. What's higher than that? Well, obviously, like a Solana is 50,000 in terms of scalability, or a Cadena at 480,000. So BitTorrent is different. But where BitTorrent shows up strong is in terms of market share. It's in terms of BitTorrent being a platform for 20 years, right? This thing's been around forever as a file sharing platform for, video, photo, files, music, whatever. Okay, it's a peer-to-peer sharing platform. Really, really interesting going back to USDD and the stablecoin. As I mentioned, that came out just today. So there's some good opportunities there if you wanted to make some returns on this stablecoin, all right? With that article, obviously promotions are good, marketing's good. The Kyber network partnership that came about, that's a positive thing as well. There was something else I didn't touch on earlier either, which was Binance did an airdrop for the, I think it was the Bored Apes, I want to say, something like that. No, it was Ape NFT is maybe what it was. So there was an airdrop. It's challenging getting them not confused, right? So the NFT marketplace for Tron is Ape NFT. That has nothing to do with Bored Apes. It's simply just Ape NFT. And so there was some Ape NFT airdrops going on with Binance that I didn't touch on earlier that BitTorrent had mentioned on their page. So even more going on there. In terms of staking, that type of thing, the rate still really good, 18% staking if you decide to pick up some BTT. Obviously, as I mentioned earlier, you need to pick it up somewhere where you can transfer it and then transfer it to your TronLink wallet. You're going to need TRX. And that particular coin is it's built on the TRX blockchain, TRC20, excuse me, is what it is, okay? So I know it gets confusing there, but in terms of the interoperability, all you need to remember is that last letter just signifies the start of whatever chain that it's compatible with, whether it be Ethereum, the Binance Smart Chain, excuse me, or Tron, okay? So with all of that, I know it's just a ton of information here. I know the market's red right now, so there's not really a lot we can do with price predicting or anything like that. I think what you really need to look at is just BitTorrent as a whole for the various moves that they're making. I would argue that Justin Sun is usually not the first. He's usually not the trend setter. But what he does do is he picks up on what's working and what's working well, and then he kind of brings that over to everything under his umbrella, and then they build that in also. So, he's got so many different coins between BTT, between TRX, now we have USDD, we've got Sun, we've got JST, we've got Win, the list just kind of goes on and on and on for all the various Justin Sun tokens. but each one has a really specific purpose on what it does, and they all kind of make sense when you look at them as a whole. And so overall, I still think that BitTorrent is a really good project to look into. The stability of the platform has proven that, and I think in the long run, it will definitely be a good blockchain because, again, what sets it apart and what I didn't touch on in that CoinMarketCap article, again, is interoperability and its throughput, transactions per second, and its cost. Those are the three big nuggets for any successful blockchain into the future. Interoperability, TPS, that's your scaling, and the cost. We want it to be cheap. No one wants to pay massive gas fees. So as long as they can do that, then they got a bright future here with BitTorrent. All right? So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit the like button. Don't forget that I'm also on Twitter at KIR Finance, where you can find me tweeting and retweeting on a regular basis. Check me out there. And lastly, for a friendly reminder, this is Jesse with Keeping It Real Finance, channel that always has your back, tells it like it is, and I will see you on the next one. Later.